I came home from work to find my backyard overrun with strangers throwing a pool party. "You let people I don't know use my pool?" I shouted, stepping out of my car to see 15 unfamiliar faces splashing around like it was a community water park. A teenage boy did a belly flop right in front of me, nearly soaking my German shepherd, Buddy, who barked in confusion. Folding chairs were scattered across my lawn. A Bluetooth speaker blared pop music. Someone had dragged out my grill, and a cooler sat open in the sun. My favorite pool float, a post-divorce splurge for comfort, was being used by a woman in oversized sunglasses who stared at me like I was the intruder. I live in a suburban cul-de-sac, technically under the local HOA, but my house is on the end lot, bordered by thick hedges and a private fence I paid for years ago. The pool was my own investment, city-approved, not an HOA amenity. Yet there was Lisa, the HOA board's self-appointed enforcer, clipboard in hand, ruler of lawn lengths and paint colors, strutting around my pool in flip-flops like she owned it. She waved at me and said, "Hope you don't mind. Just a small neighborhood mixer." A mixer? I was dumbfounded. "This is my backyard, Lisa," I yelled over the music. "Not a shared space." She blinked, unfazed, and said, "Well, you're part of the HOA, so you signed up for community spirit." Community spirit? I bought this house for privacy, for peace after 14-hour shifts managing tech networks. The last thing I wanted was my yard turned into a free-for-all. Buddy barked again as a little girl splashed him. I was livid. Storming past Lisa, who offered me a burger, I shut off the speaker, closed the cooler, and pointed to the gate. "Everyone out." "Now," Lisa protested, "don't ruin the VYB. It's just water." I ignored her, holding the gate open. Some guests, sensing trouble, grabbed their towels and left. A teenage boy muttered, "Sorry, man," as he passed. Lisa was the last to go, hissing, "This isn't over," her sandals slapping the pavement. The gate slammed shut, but my anger didn't fade. I spent the next hour draining the pool halfway and scrubbing every surface. Buddy watched from the porch, ears twitching. I checked the security footage and saw Lisa picking the gate lock with a hairpin at 11 a.m., setting up like it was her own event. Guests arrived, somewhat VYing at the camera. Lisa even smirked and mouthed, "He won't mind." The next day, I brought the footage to the HOA meeting. During open comments, I played the video. The board sat in silence. Lisa didn't flinch. I asked, "What will you do about a board member trespassing and throwing unauthorized parties?" The president, a retired accountant named George, stammered about a formal review. Lisa called it a harmless get-together. I pressed, "What if someone got hurt? Is the HOA liable?" George mumbled about insurance not covering private amenities. I left furious, realizing the board wouldn't act decisively. Driving home, I passed a garden center with a koi pond out front. An idea sparked: transform my pool into a koi pond, untouchable by Lisa's schemes. It would be my revenge, quiet, permanent, and beautiful. 3 days later, I still couldn't relax. Every glance at the pool reminded me of Lisa's smug face. Buddy growled at passers-by. I installed new locks, a smart camera, and no trespassing signs. But I knew Lisa wasn't done. That weekend, I had to leave for a 36-hour work trip. I secured everything, left Buddy with my sister, and set up motion lights. At 7:13 p.m., my phone pinged. Motion alert. The camera showed Lisa and 8 others, carrying a flamingo float and towels. She picked the new lock and smirked at the camera. I called the police, reporting trespassing with footage. By the time an officer arrived, they'd scattered. Back home, I found trash, wet towels, a broken gnome, and, oddly, fish food containers. Lisa must have spread a rumor I was turning the yard into a community space. The police confirmed trespassing but could only issue a warning. Lisa claimed I'd allowed community access a lie. At the next HOA meeting, she painted me as antisocial. Some board members nodded, revealing her allies. I realized she was playing a long game, twisting community to erode my rights. That night, I sketched a koi pond plan, reviving an old dream. I called Theo, a landscaper specializing in water features. He loved the idea of a fortress of serenity. Within a week, construction began. Jackhammers replaced suburban quiet. Neighbors peeked out, some approving, tired of Lisa's antics. Lisa showed up, suspicious. "Big summer plans?" she asked. "Just making it less appealing to trespassers," I replied. She saw the pool being dismantled and faltered. The community enjoyed those gatherings, she said. It was theft, I shot back, walking away. The pond took shape, gravel, lily pads, and koi fish gliding like art. I held a quiet ribbon cutting with tea and Buddy. Lisa tried again, bringing her yoga group for a lakeside session. I handed her a cease and desist order. The koi don't like sunblock, I said. Her group left, one questioning her claim it was a community garden. Lisa's next move was a passive-aggressive HOA notice about non-traditional modifications. I sent permits proving compliance. Then a county inspector, tipped off anonymously, cleared the pond as pristine. Lisa hosted a block event, listing my address for koi pond tours. I confronted her with the flyer. It's my backyard, not a park, I said. She shrugged. You need to work on community. Her smear campaign followed, surveys about antisocial neighbors. But neighbors shared stories of her abuses, fines for wind chimes, threats over basketball hoops. At the next HOA meeting, I presented footage, permits, and her flyer. When does community become theft? I asked. The room agreed. George announced a review of Lisa's conduct. She sat, clutching her clipboard, defeated. A week later, Lisa stared at my house from her yard, sent fish food, and tried to peek through my fence. A neighbor, Ellen, sent screenshots of Lisa's group chat, plotting to regulate my pond. I forwarded them to the board. At the next meeting, neighbors exposed Lisa's manipulations. She was removed unanimously and stormed out. Apology notes poured in from neighbors she'd bullied. I hosted a quiet gathering by the pond, tea, lemonade, no chaos. Lisa listed her house for sale, moving to a gated community. One evening, I sat with Buddy, watching the koi under lantern light. The ripples shimmered. I raised my tea and whispered to the pond that sank the HOA.